Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be a kid inside the biggest boat in history, built by God's command, surrounded by every animal you can think of? Imagine seeing lions yawn next to sheep, or hearing elephants trumpet while rain pounds on the roof. I was there, and this is how it happened. I remember the sound before I knew what it meant. Tap, tap, bang. My father's hammer shook the morning air. Everyone said he was crazy, but I didn't think so. Father said God spoke to him, told him to build something the world had never seen before. A huge boat, right in the middle of dry land. I stood watching, holding a tiny wooden peg, wondering if my little hands could help. Neighbors laughed at us, pointing fingers. I wanted to shout back, but Father's eyes stayed calm. He told me, "One day, you will understand." I believed him. I believed God too. The first plank went up, and my heart beat fast. Something big was starting. One morning, animals started walking toward us. First 2 rabbits hopped in, then tall giraffes bent their necks as if bowing. Birds of every color filled the sky, swirling above the boat. I rubbed my eyes, thinking it was a dream. Lions padded slowly, but their eyes looked soft, not hungry. I reached out, almost touching their golden fur. The neighbors stopped laughing now. They just stared. My little brother clapped his hands, shouting the names of animals as they came. It was like a parade, but not noisy. They moved as if God Himself called them forward. I felt goosebumps. The ark was filling with life, and I was part of it. The day the sky changed, I felt it in my chest. Clouds rolled in, heavier than anything I had ever seen. The air smelled sharp, like metal. The neighbors stopped shouting and began whispering. I clutched my mother's hand, staring upward. Then, a drop hit my nose. Then another. Soon, rain poured like buckets from heaven. Father shouted. Inside. Everyone inside. My heart raced as we climbed the wooden ramp. Thunder cracked, shaking the ground. The door of the ark slammed shut behind us, and I knew God's hand had closed it. The world outside was no longer safe. Inside, my small voice whispered, "God, please protect us." The first night, the rain never stopped. Boom, 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 it drummed on the roof like 1,000 fists. The animals shifted restlessly, but none hurt each other. It was strange, almost peaceful. I lay on straw, hugging my little blanket, listening to the mix of sounds: horses neighing, monkeys chattering, owls hooting. My baby sister cried, but Mother rocked her gently. I thought about the people outside, the ones who laughed at us. Where were they now? My chest felt heavy, but Father's voice rose in prayer, steady and strong. I whispered along, "God, thank you for keeping us dry." Even though fear sat in my stomach, I began to feel safe. By the 3rd day, the ground disappeared. We floated. The ark groaned as waves slammed against its sides. Sometimes, it tipped so hard I thought we'd fall over. I grabbed a rope and held on tight. Water sprayed in through tiny cracks, and the smell of wet wood filled the air. But Father kept reminding us, God's hand holds us. I peeked out a small window once, and all I saw was endless water. No trees, no hills, no neighbors, nothing. Just water swallowing the world. My little brother asked, "Will we ever see land again?" I hugged him close, even though I wondered the same thing. Still, I told him, "Yes, we will." Life inside the ark became normal after a while. We woke up to roosters crowing and went to sleep with lions purring. I helped carry buckets of food, grain for the horses, fish for the bears, leaves for the giraffes. Feeding time was busy, but fun. My favorite part was when the elephants used their trunks to grab food from my hands. They made me laugh, even when I felt scared. At night, I listened to the songs of birds echoing through the wooden halls. It was like the ark had its own music, different each day. Even though we were shut away, it felt like the whole world lived inside with us. Days turned into weeks. I stopped counting after a while. The rain slowed, but still the water stretched forever. Sometimes I pressed my ear against the wood, listening for new sounds. Silence outside, always silence. Inside, Father read aloud God's promises, reminding us He had not forgotten. I wondered if the world would ever look the same. Would trees grow again? Would animals run free like before? My heart felt small, but then I remembered the rainbow stories Father used to tell. A promise painted in the sky. I whispered to myself, "Maybe one day I'll see it." One morning, Father let a raven fly out the window. My eyes followed it until it vanished. But it didn't return. Days later, Father released a dove. I held my breath. When it came back, my heart sank. But then another try. This time, the dove returned with a tiny green leaf in its beak. I gasped, cheering so loud I scared the goats. "Land!" I shouted. The whole ark filled with excitement. We clapped, laughed, and hugged each other. The animals stomped and trumpeted as if they understood. Hope came back that day, carried by a small bird. The day the ark touched land, I almost cried. The rocking stopped, and the floor felt steady. We could hear wind rustling through trees again. Father told us to wait for God's sign before leaving, so we stayed inside a little longer. I could smell fresh air through the cracks, sweet and clean. My hands itched to touch the dirt. My feet longed to run on grass. Finally, Father smiled and said, "It is time." The animals lined up, marching out in pairs. I followed close behind, my heart racing. After so many days of water, land felt like a miracle. When we stepped outside, the world sparkled. Grass was green, the sky wide, and mountains stood strong. Then I saw it. A rainbow stretched across the heavens, brighter than any color I'd ever imagined. I froze, staring with wide eyes. Father said, "This is God's promise, that He will never flood the whole earth again." My little brother grabbed my hand, pointing up. "It's like a painting in the sky." I laughed, my heart lighter than ever. The animals scattered joyfully, and we built an altar of thanks. I looked at the rainbow and whispered, "Thank you, God. That promise was for me too." Did you feel the wonder of the ark through a child's eyes? If this story touched your heart, don't let it end here. LDAO, like this video if you believe in God's promises. Subscribe to join our family of faith-filled stories. Share this with a friend who needs hope today, and tell us in the comments, what part of Noah's story made you feel closest to God? Together, let's keep spreading light, one story at a time.